Welcome back to Passport Acadiana. I'm Chloe and this is Chloe's Culinary Corner. Today we're going to be making tacos, and who doesn't love tacos? I'm going to show you how to make tacos with ground turkey and tofu, which is especially beneficial for the A and AB blood types. But I'm going to go over a few different protein options as well that would be suitable for other blood types as well, so that you don't have to miss out, because who wants to miss out on tacos? So the first thing I'm going to do is heat up my ground turkey. Now we already pre-made this. This is a great idea if you want to just have a protein source available for other meals that you don't have to cook turkey from raw every single time. But you can absolutely just throw the raw ground turkey straight into the pan if that's easier for you, or if you prefer that. We're gonna start with a drizzle of the Graza olive oil. We love this olive oil because the bottle is adorable, looks great on your counter, and it's non-GMO, which is also awesome. So it's a great way to get our healthy fats. Just a little drizzle in the pan there. And we're gonna go ahead and add our ground turkey. We're gonna go ahead and chop our tofu up into smaller pieces, and we're gonna add that to the ground turkey in the pan. Now we did already bake the tofu in a teriyaki sauce just to give it a little bit of extra flavor. And inadvertently turning this into sort of an Asian fusion dish, which is also kind of cool. So I sort of just haphazardly chopped this into smaller pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and add that into my ground turkey. And I'm just gonna get that heated up as well. Now for added nutritional value, we're gonna go in with some sweet potatoes. We have both purple sweet potatoes and your regular orange sweet potatoes in here, just for a pretty variety of color. I'm adding these directly to the pan to get heated up as well. I'm gonna sort of break them up a little bit while they're warming up. Now we did pre-cook these potatoes, so they are already soft. You're gonna wanna do that before throwing them into the pan. If you try to add a raw sweet potato into this, it's not gonna have enough time in that hot pan to actually get soft enough, and you might lose a tooth. In the meantime, while I'm waiting on this to heat up, I'm gonna go ahead and make another hot honey sauce. This is for a drizzle on top of the tacos at the end. If you're not into super spicy food, you don't have to do this, but I think it's fun, and I love hot honey, and I love adding it to anything, so any excuse that I get is great. Now, I did do this a little bit differently in our last cooking video. I think I used honey and cayenne pepper, which is a great and very easy way to make hot honey. I might have done a drizzle of olive oil as well, which is also great, but I'm gonna try something a little bit different this time. We're gonna start with some of this Bernard's Pure Natural Acadiana honey. We love this stuff around here, and I'm going to add that to my bowl. In fact, I'm gonna add just a little bit more there as well. You can add however much you want. You can like totally pre-batch this in advance and just keep it in your fridge. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of Tabasco, or a lot, depending on how spicy you like it. I like pretty spicy food, so I'm gonna get an arm workout real quick. And as an added health bonus and a little bit of variety and flavor, we're gonna add a little black garlic to this. So actually, what I might do is chop this up first and then add it to the honey so we can get maximum infusion in there. And I'm gonna add that chopped black garlic to the hot honey. Just give that a really good mix. Now, if you want, you could totally take an immersion blender to this if you're not really into the variety of textures from the black garlic. And that'll further infuse the black garlic into the hot honey, but it's definitely not necessary. I know not everybody has an immersion blender, so just a really good mix will be totally sufficient. Now I'm gonna set this to the side, and I am going to start heating up my tortillas. Now these aren't just any tortillas, these are special tortillas. These are the almond flour tortillas from Ola Foods. We love these because they are grain-free, they're gluten-free, they're dairy-free, they're soy-free, vegan. They're great for everybody, if you don't have a nut allergy, that is. And they are highly beneficial for all blood types. So I am going to start by throwing the tortilla straight into a hot pan. I've got this set to about medium heat. And after about 10 to 15 seconds, you're gonna want to flip that just long enough for that tortilla to get warm. So that tortilla is pretty warm. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the plate. And in the meantime, I'm gonna have a second one in the chamber because who's eating just one taco? Alrighty, so my filling is warm enough now. All those good flavors are nicely incorporated in there, and you can see that great variety of textures and colors. We're gonna go ahead and place that directly onto a bed of lettuce on top of that almond flour tortilla. I love lettuce on a taco because it just makes it crunchier and feels like you're doing better in life when you eat lettuce. I'm gonna go ahead and top that off with our filling. I'm gonna give a drizzle of our hot honey with the black garlic. You can put however much of this you want. I don't want it to be too sweet, so I'm just gonna put the smallest amount. And then I am going to, just for fun, top that off with some pumpkin seeds, just a little bit, just for some added crunch. You don't have to do this if you don't like pumpkin seeds. And if you want a little bit of added nutrition on the side, you can totally go in with some broccoli, some carrots, whatever vegetables you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put some broccoli on the side here, just for a little bit of added nutrition. Now I'm gonna go in and make one more taco, and I will see you guys in a little bit. And there we have it. We have our turkey tofu and sweet potato tacos with hot honey and a pumpkin seed drizzle. If you like, you can add some garlic salt or some paprika or whatever you like to the broccoli to make it a little bit more exciting. Or you could just eat it as is if you're a vegetable lover like me. Now, this would be great for me. I love ground turkey, I love tofu. However, if you prefer a pescatarian option, you could totally go with salmon or cod or both, as we have here. We have it sort of mixed up together so that you're getting the best of both worlds, and you can just totally cook it the same way, use whatever seasonings you like, cumin, use that same drizzle of hot honey, and whatever veggies that you want to add into that taco. If you're an O blood type, we might suggest using grass-fed ground beef instead, which would be highly beneficial for the O blood type in particular. Of course, you don't have to use meat at all if you don't want to. You could totally just use the tofu or just use the turkey if you prefer not to do tofu. It's totally up to you. The beauty of a taco is that you can put whatever you want in it and it'll at least be a little good. It's a taco, so it's hard to mess up. Also, you could add whatever toppings you like to it. So I added some of the pumpkin seeds, which I like for the crunch. You could go in with fermented beets, which is great for your gut health. You could go in with shredded carrots, really anything that you want for any texture or flavor or blood type that you want it to be beneficially geared toward. So we talked a lot about textures. However, you might be asking yourself, what if I don't love the huge variety in textures? What if I prefer something that's maybe a little bit easier to chew or a little bit easier to break down? So our director asked me to show you another option that you're able to do. We're just gonna start with that hot tortilla. We're gonna throw some lettuce into our food processor. And we chose romaine lettuce because it is beneficial for all blood types. We're gonna go in with another drizzle of our Graza olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, for our healthy fats. We're gonna add our filling directly into our food processor. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just add a drizzle of that hot honey straight into the food processor as well, with some big chunks of black garlic so that we're not skimping out on that garlic flavor. Now, this particular method would be potentially a great way to get your kids to eat vegetables if they're not crazy about vegetables. Sometimes if we make them look less like a vegetable, it might be a little bit more appealing to them. And we're just gonna go ahead and blend. Now we've got our taco filling. We've got all that goodness blended up in there, so you are getting a little bit with every bite. Now I already heated up another tortilla. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this filling straight onto that tortilla. So if you wanted to throw a little bit of feta cheese on here and fold it and grill it back in the pan, then this would make a great taco for anybody that is maybe a little bit texture averse. And that's all you have to do. It's really easy and simple. This would be probably better for kids who don't generally love seeing large chunks of vegetables in their meal. And it's so easy to do, especially if you just throw it all in the blender and just mix it all up in one. Of course, you can put veggies on the side of that, but that might defeat the purpose of blending it up all together. But there you have it. There is a second option to go with our first option. Both very high in protein, incredibly nutritious, and very tasty. As usual, thank you for tuning back into Passport Acadiana, and this is Chloe's Culinary Corner.